Yo, what's up, aliens? Ahi here with another tutorial. I've been thinking about this one for quite some time, and I'm really excited to finally share this one. I'm going to be comparing some Skrillex demos that I've found randomly on YouTube to some of his final masters, and I just want to show y'all the process of like how it the idea started and then how it finished. So let's dive in. But before doing that, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more content from me. And also check below. I got all sorts of cool Ableton racks and Serum presets for sale. So let's dive in. So first off, I want to talk about how Ping Pong turned into Fuji Opener. And so I think this version was like made back in I don't know, 2015, 2016. I'm guessing around the similar time as Red Lips because it's got a similar kind of aesthetic in the synth work. But check this out. This must have been like a live DJ edit or something like that he had at the time. You know, this is completely different than Fuji Opener. But then you'll hear on the drop. Yep, a halftime drop there. And here's the second drop they added on here. And that's not at all in Fuji Opener. So let's listen to Fuji Opener here. It's a totally different song, you know, but still here during the drop. Here we go. And that part's essentially the same. So what's interesting to note is obviously the new melodic part at the beginning of the song. And then also it's got the new pre-drop vocal instead of, and it's got a new fill in there too. It's just a little bit different drum groove. And then also in the final, he has the fake first drop where it's no beat. I think that was like a new thing that was sort of popular around the, I don't know, when people started doing that, 2017, 2018. But you know, the original song was made back in probably 2015. I thought that was really interesting. Also, he removed these like offbeat synth. You know, not in here. Also, you can tell the mixing is different. Like the final is much warmer and less highs. So let's look at the difference. Here's the original demo. So you can see here the bass doesn't actually have that much definition. It's sort of muddy. And then the high end is pretty high compared to the lows. Now let's compare that to the final. And we can see that the lows are actually much hotter on the final and it much more defined. You know, there's less clashing material in there, and the highs are much lower in the final. And I think that it was interesting because I feel like the hi-hats and all the cymbal work that's so loud in this in a way was like distracting from the main synth. And so all that cymbal work is still in the final. It's just so soft in the background. And especially here on the halftime drop. Like you can hear the versus this. And also the main synth line had like this weird reverb on it in the demo. Like it's almost like the is sort of like more in the foreground than the main synth. So I can see why he made that decision to change that up, because now the main synth is like right in your face and it's dry, and I think that was a really good thing. And also it sounds like he like changed the drums up a little bit. Like let's see here. Listen to that snare. It's like that very classic kind of snare, and then this snare is. It's almost got like of a more metallic ting to it. And I thought that was really interesting. Also, something to note is the downbeat bass. Listen to the original. It's like, and then now on the final, it's meow. Except in the final, I covered this in my call and response, is that every other one is that's down and then that's up, and that's the same as the original. That's exactly the same. Yeah, it's just like mixed a little bit warmer, less highs. Also, obviously the second drop on the Fuji Opener is just a totally different thing, probably brand new made because that was like the style of Skrillex around that time in 2019. Also, let's see, what else did I write down? Oh yeah, I've been listening to this song like 10,000 times at least, and I just now noticed all the echoey melodic synth work in the background of this track. It's so good. Like, let's try to listen for it. So it's like, do you hear it? Nothing there. There's the synth hit. It wasn't on the downbeat. It was like, it's like delayed off from the snare. So cool. And that's not in the, is it in the original? Let's see here. I don't know if it is there. Oh, it is there. You can hear it. Yeah. Oh, also on these turnarounds here, different there as well. Because again, he's like fitting in the new melodic part, because like the old melodic part was this song. Yeah, overall the final just sounds way more like, I don't know, well polished and well thought out. And this is the thing that I want to get across to y'all in this tutorial, is using perseverance, vision, confidence, and patience as a production technique. And that's something I don't see anyone talking about, is that he knew that this was a good song. He knew that there were good ideas in his demo, but that it wasn't a hit yet. And to like stick with that vision over like what's like three, maybe 4 years worth of time since he originally created it to when it was finally released. And I'm sure during that time, like the versions of Ping Pong kept on changing, and like he was like finding that pocket that was just absolutely what he wanted in his vision of it. And I feel like a lot of producers, I have this tendency is to like make something and then like get it out there. And for him, it was like, no, I only want it to get out once it's challenged my ability to its fullest extent. Like, I'm not going to be satisfied with just making a dope track. I'm going to wait until it is just mind-blowing to me. And having that confidence to like wait until something just clicks, and to also not give up on the idea. Yeah, I think that's really cool. So I've got 2 other examples. I'm going to go over Where Are You Now and Kill Everybody. So here's the Where Are You Now final. So this video is going to get demonetized for sure, but so please be sure to like and subscribe. Maybe check out my Ableton racks down in the comments. So I got these demos from, there's a YouTube documentary on the making of Where Are You Now. So we can, just to get a little refresher. Yeah, now let's listen to a few of these demos. Now these are just off of his laptop speakers, so we're not going to be able to compare the mix, but we can compare the composition. Interesting. So yeah, I'm OTTing the heck of it just so that way we can get some volume back into it and even hear it. But there you can actually, it's at a entirely different BPM. It's at 128, which I have a feeling that when they tried this song out, I think they originally thought it was going to be a house song, and then it morphed into what it turned into, which was like a 140 halftime song. But you could tell that like the vocal chops were there. You could tell that like that plucky sound was there. But there were a lot more animal sounds in this. Listen, the crows and the oi, and then like there's that hip hop kind of vocal chop right there. Let's listen to a couple of the other early demos. So that one is at 140, so they've sped it up there, but it's like they played around with the plucky bass line, which not that good. But the main vocal chop idea from the final is in that version though, which take note of that. Here's another. So yeah, that one again at 128 BPM, and the animal sounds are still in there, and the vocal chops are like they were playing around with the pitch of the vocal chops to keep them higher or go lower. I think that's pretty standard when you're doing vocal chops. And then here is the final.
That's a cool version. This is still working.
Yeah, and that one's a bit cooler too. But you can still hear the animal sounds in there. But again, it's got like that higher pitched vocal chop. And this is what I think is really interesting, is that they made a ton of different versions. I forgot what he said, but it was like 14. I don't know. I can't remember what they said in the documentary, but they made a lot of different versions and edits of this song. And so like they are basically like, let's recreate the same song a bunch of different ways and just see what happens. And then from there, they like picked and choose their favorite parts and then put it into the final song. And I don't see a lot of people working that way, you know? It's really interesting where it's like, I don't need to make the hit song. I don't need to make the final right now. I'm just exploring and experimenting with different melodies, different vocal chops, different bass lines, different vibes, different samples. And from there, they see all the different creations and are like, oh, I like that one. We really like that aspect. We like that aspect. Now we'll take all our favorite aspects and then create the final from all of those favorite little moments. That's different. That's really cool. Also, let's see here. Where's some of my other notes on here? Yeah, in a way though, it's like when you hear these demos, there's, where is it? So here the da 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 da, but it's also happening with the I don't know. There's like more of a shuffle, like a shaker shuffle kind of thing going on there. That has no hi-hat percussion. There's that one. Yeah, so here if we listen to the final again, I just feel like it's much cleaner and simpler. And so like they didn't layer multiple versions of vocal chops. Like here at the intro of the song, it's got this vocal chop. And so it takes that same pattern like that they were playing around with, but originally they're playing around with it lower, and then they kept it at the natural human voice pitch level. And I think that that added, you know, instantly you knew it was human, and instantly you know, oh, this is going to be interesting. But then they didn't force this vocal chop into the drop at all. Like nowhere in the final song, like they had this vocal chop style and melody an octave down or an octave up, but over the drop. And they decided, no, that should get its own section because this other vocal chop fits the drop much better. I thought that was a really interesting artistic choice to like just be like, okay, just take that melody out, give it its own space, and then we'll stick with this other melody and keep it all simple and clean. All right, let's hear what Skrillex had to say. I think he had a couple interesting notes.
That's a cool version. This is still a work in process. This wasn't the version where we're like, this might be the one, or like that might be the thing. It was like processing stuff and then finding the right sounds and then like minimizing that at the end. It was always the key. It was always the goal. But it was like finding that one little thing, which was the dolphin singing, the dolphin sound.
Yeah, that little doo-doo. Very cool. So let's look at the last example, Kill Everybody. So this was one of my favorites off of his early Scary Monsters, Nice Sprites EP. And oh my goodness, take a listen. Like, I swear he must have made this like around a similar time as the My Name is Skrillex, or like maybe right around when that was being released. Because listen.
I want to kill everybody in the world.
First off, I'm going to say I've tried to beat match this thing to like line it up to the grid, and it's like changing tempos or something in this demo because I could not line it up to the grid. So I don't know what's up with that, but it's not very good. It's like you can hear elements of it. They're like cool, but like, oh my, like I think honestly, like the most amazing part of like comparing these demos to the finals is to realize like Skrillex can make bad music. And that's so relieving to me. I love Skrillex. It's like, I love the music so much. So it's just really cool to see like, you know, not every step of the way is that great. And that it's the patience over time and the persistence and the vision that allows that greatness to be there. Again, not very well mixed. The drum samples are almost like live sounding drums. It's like a house BPM, but it's like live sounding drums compared to like the final. Which has like the electro house drums. It's like genre correct, you know, for that time period. That I thought was really interesting. There are like a lot of similar elements, like the vocal chop things. He did add like this electro intro, and then he's got the. So right there, it's got the dun 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 dun, like the little plucks in the background, but they're a little bit less. And then also there's a lower tone to, or a lower layer in the vocal glitches that's not present in the demo. There's almost like a third or fourth or fifth or something, like harmony vocal in there. So I thought it was cool they pitched it down. And there, that RP synth thing just doesn't happen in the original song. And also what's interesting is this pre-drop.
I want to kill everybody in the world.
And then you can hear this breath. And he probably kept it in there because it's like, oh, it's a cool little offbeat thing. But then in the final. And so it's almost like this growl replaces the breath. I don't know. I thought that was really cool. And it sort of like sets you up for like what to expect during the drop. And that was just completely new at that time. Let's see here. What other things? Yeah, no beat in the demo intro. Yeah, also in the final, the call and response is much more well defined. Like this very beginning bit here is probably why he kept it as like why he rendered it as a demo, because like this is like this part, like that no just doesn't sound good compared to that's like electro sound of that era, you know. So the call and response is just like more well defined over time, and also the mixing of it is just let's take a look. What's the mixing difference look like? So yeah, there's a really well defined sub, the snare, you know, in the high end. Now let's look at the demo. Once again, it's not mastered, and you can see that the sub isn't, there's really no sub to it. It's got like a powerful kick, but like the sub's sort of lacking, and it's all sort of muddy and undefined there. And then just like this weird shape in the high end versus like that's something that we would expect from like a professionally mixed song, more so with like the higher sub, the average height, the highs equals average height, the lows, and then that dip right there, like I talk about in a couple of my other videos. How do you span video? Yeah, super interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think that is, oh yeah, and it's like he's able to like make this complex idea, not worry about it too much, and later go back and like structure it like a sentence. Like, you know, you're editing, it's like you're editing a play, editing a book, you know. One phase you're just writing and being creative, and then another phase is you're going through and perfecting each moment. And so, yeah, I think that's all in this tutorial. Yeah, just super interesting stuff. If you enjoyed this, make sure you liked, subscribed, and leave a comment below what you thought was interesting or any notes that you have. Real quick, I'm going to give y'all, I want to show y'all this cool Magic Racks that I just released. So yeah, I just released my Magic Racks Volume 5. You can get it at the link below at my Gumroad, but let me show you a couple of these. So I've just got this like snare right there. I'm going to add AHEE's metal tonality. And you can like click through and choose all these different presets to get different metal things. You can control the pitch of it. You can add some corpus in there. You can control the sample type. Really cool stuff. Also works really well on basses. Speaking of basses, got that little saw wave. Let's try AHEE's Ultra Disperser. It's honestly, I think it's better than the disperser. It's got a lot more options on like how to wiggle that sound. And then afterwards, let's add AHEE's bass cream flavors, and just you get some really gnarly sounds with this. Very cool. So here's a vocal. Let's give it a little bit more flavor. I'm gonna give it the flavors of distortion.
Get down to the bass line.
I like the hot pickle one. So let's turn this into a riser by automating AHEE's rise, fall, and flutter. And let's check this out. So
Get down to the bass line. Bass line. Bass line. Bass. 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 Bass.
nice. Or we can turn this into like a intro kind of thing by using AHEE's wash, fade, and echo. I love doing this like on basses, like right before the drop, as like an intro.
Bass line. Bass. 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 Bass line.
And then here's the almond break. And we can add AHEE's spectral blur to it, and just it totally changes the sound. You can get all these like happy little glitches and accidents out of it. Yeah, that electric crack one's really crazy. Yeah, there are 21 different racks in that series, and if you want to check out the full demo, I'll have it down in the link description as well. All right, hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll talk to y'all in the future. Peace, aliens.